past couple of years, the intensification of this fear of Islam, or the spread of the fear of Islam by some media agencies, by some individuals who seek to gain from this fear. So we have a very distinguished speaker today. Honestly, I don't know who could speak better about this topic than Hussam Ayloush, who's with the Council on American-Islamic Relations, the largest Muslim civil rights group in the United States. They do a lot of work across the country. They have numerous chapters all around the country in many states, and they've done a lot of work. And usually, when the media needs somebody to speak on behalf of Muslims or on behalf of important issues such as airport screenings or the Part 51 issue or anything like that, they reach out to CAIR because they have both that reputation as a representative for the Muslim community. So the announcement I forgot to make earlier was that May 3rd, we're having another event. It's about like Muslim diversity and how there's numerous cultures and numerous people from around the world that are Muslim, but we don't often see that part of the world. We don't often see that part of the Islamic world, at least, where it's not just a bunch of Arabs with beards and turbans like me, but there's a lot of people that look differently, that are very different people all over the world, from Egypt, from Turkey, from Russia, from the United States, that are all Muslims. We just want to show that to the campus. We're going to have an event on May 3rd. They have some displays that are going to be shown. That's just a little minor announcement. So back to this event. Like I said, we have a very distinguished speaker. He has a presentation, but unfortunately, we're not going to prep it for you guys. He's going to be presenting several things. What is Islamophobia? How it's affecting Muslims here today in America and the general American populace, and also how to deal with it. Hopefully, we can get some solutions. How we can work with it. A major thing that we're actually, for the Muslim community and for the non-Muslim community, if you're interested, there's a CAIR Leadership Summit that's happening this weekend on Saturday, where they're training individuals in different things as far as media, public speaking, social media, and how to engage, and civic engagement, how to engage with public officials. There's a training actually occurring this Saturday. Maybe talk about that a little bit more depth. Because it should be so far. Should I do it right now? Okay, we'll do that right now. If you guys are interested in that, we'll have some more information. So without further ado, put your hands together for Hussam Ayloush.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. In the name of Allah, God the most gracious, the most merciful, and may the peace and the blessings of Allah, God Almighty, be upon His Messenger Muhammad, be upon all the messengers before him. Again, I greet you with the greeting of Islam. Assalamu alaikum, and peace and blessings of Allah be with you. Thank you for all for being here. I appreciate the time you're taking to be here. I know it's getting late in the day. Many people have midterms. Do you have midterms now? Finished?
Midterms tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So the fact that you're here during your midterms or after your midterms, that's a sacrifice. I appreciate that. I know the organizers appreciate that. Just to be clear, how long do you have now?
3 hours. We'll keep it at 1 hour so we have more time for questions.
I want to plan with you.
Yeah.
Well, the topic is Islamophobia. I challenge every time, so I leave it to the audience to decide. I know it's a lot of you, and I'm not assuming that I know a lot of you. Many of you are Muslims. Usually when I'm speaking on Islamophobia and the audience at the university, I try to explain what Islam is. Because the biggest problem, the biggest reason, because the biggest root cause of Islamophobia, or the fear of Islam, or the irrational fear of Islam, is not knowing what Islam is. So I'm assuming most of you have basic knowledge of Islam. For the Muslims, please don't answer that. But for the others, I mean, do I need to go over what Islam is? Are we all set, clear, easier? For everybody's time? You know what? If you have a question about Islam, because the problem is unless you know what Muslims, what do they worship, how do they worship, it is easier to feel that this is the other group, this is the people who need it. So it is important, so I'm not dismissing that. Maybe during the talk, if you feel there's a need for something, please raise your hand and I will explain it. So what is Islamophobia? Does it even exist? Is it something in the head of the Muslim? Maybe we're just imagining, right? There's empirical data that shows actually it exists. I like to define Islamophobia on two levels. And actually, you know what? Can I ask you to get closer? Because I'm going to lose my voice by the end. Since we're going without microphone. unfavorably, really unfavorably, etc., etc. 53% they said they had an unfavorable or somehow unfavorable view about Islam. Compare that to actually 25% for Judaism and 8% for Christianity. So if somebody tells you, oh no, there's no Islamophobia, they have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, 53%, that means a majority of fellow Americans actually admit having unfavorable views about Islam. When the question was asked, do you hold any prejudice? So this is not just unfavorable. Unfavorable means when I think of you, I think of hatred, extremism, terrorism. You know, you guys are the ones who beat up your wives. You are the ones who hate Christians and Jews. You are the ones who cause all the wars in the world. That's unfavorable. I won't take action against you, but that's what I think about you. Prejudice is actually worse. Prejudice is actually, I don't think you're equal. I think I'm going to take action and treat you differently. When people were asked, do you have any prejudice towards the religion? Yes, no, maybe, somehow. 43%, the same survey, 43% said, yes, I have some prejudice, or a lot of prejudice towards Muslims. For example, compare that to when they were asked about Christians, 18% said they had prejudice towards Christians, against Christians, and 15% against Jews. So it's still bad, but nothing compares to the 43%. Now this is the bad news. The good news is, well actually some people I think it's even worse for Muslims, is when people were asked, would you call yourself someone who knows about Islam? You know, how much do you know? 63%, the same people who were asked, 63% said they admit knowing little or nothing about it. Now this is bad news because that tells you how much ignorance. People who don't know are more prone to be misinformed, more prone to be, swayed into fear or hatred or bigotry. The good news, reading the same number is that at least they're admitting they don't know much more. So that means we have a lot of opportunity for us to educate people. The strange news is that you ask 10 people and 6 out of 10 are saying, I don't know much about you, but yet 5 out of 10 say, I think you're bad. Think about it. This is exactly what the numbers are saying. People are admitting not knowing much about Islam, but at the same time, they're also admitting having prejudice toward it. Oh, think about it.